All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're going to allow just a few seconds for people to start to come in. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Taya Brown. I am the Administrative Coordinator at the Temple Small Business Development Center. The Temple SBDC helps small businesses start, grow, and succeed. We do this through our no-cost consulting and a variety of no-cost webinars and training programs like the one you're attending today. You are joining us for Sell Online with e-commerce tools presented by Google. We are recording today's session, and a copy of that recording and today's PowerPoint will be sent to all attendees within a few days in a follow-up email. All attendees have been muted. We encourage you to post any questions in the Q&A. Now I will turn over the floor to Soleil.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you all today and to present our Grow with Google workshop for today, which is Sell Online with e-commerce tools. I hope you all are ready to learn some new tools and some free tools that are going to help you to get your product or your service out there more. We are going to focus on that today. I noticed somebody in the chat said something about not being able to hear us. Can you all let me know if you can hear me well? If you can at any point, you can drop it in the chat and perfect. Well, I know you guys can see my screen, so I'm going to go ahead and get started so we can jump right into our information today. Again, I am Soleil Meade. I am your Pennsylvania Grow with Google digital coach proudly. I'm also the owner of Soleil Branding Essentials, which is a full service graphic, web design, and brand strategy company. I love helping small businesses like yourself really bring your vision to life. So that is my life work, to just really give back and to help people. You guys can follow me on all socials. You can email me any questions that you have. And my beautiful coach assistant, Vicky Sepulveda, who is the Texas West Go with Google digital coach, has dropped all of our information in the chat for you all. So don't be shy. Make sure you connect with us. If you enjoy this workshop or have learned anything, please reach out to us and let us know. We love to hear how the workshops and the products that Google offers really help to elevate your business. So let me go ahead and jump into the agenda today. So today's agenda about selling online with e-commerce is going to focus on why it is important for us to sell online. We're also going to talk about how you can showcase your products with the Google Business Profile, as well as the Merchant Center, which both of those tools are absolutely free to you, and you are going to learn to use them on a greater level today. And lastly, we're going to talk about how you can sell online with Shopify if you have a Shopify website. And of course, we will leave you with a handout today that is going to help you to stay connected to this information and a ton of resources that can help you to continue to grow your business. So let's talk about why shopping online and being present online is so important. Research shows that shopping online is on the rise. I mean, I guess we're out of the pandemic, so we can say that we all were forced to use online and virtual spaces to do some basic needs. Some of us probably still order our groceries through Instacart or online because we got comfortable and got to utilize that convenience. So these details are so important. It is showing that shoppers go online first in over 60% of shopping occasions. So I'm going to go check out something online before I actually go into the store or decide to make that purchase. And what happens is those online visits actually drive people to visit the stores and to make that online purchase. So I want to get an idea before we fully immerse into today's content. Let me know if you have a website, put 1 in the chat. If you sell a product or service, put a 2 in the chat. And if you're working on your website or your business still, put a 3 in the chat. I just want to understand who we have here and what you all are equipped with. So we got a lot of people that are still working. So you're here to gather knowledge, but also some people who have websites as well as sell products or services online. I do want to be very clear to you all that if you have a service-based business, sometimes these products and platforms work just as well for your service-based business as long as you work it right. So let's talk a little bit more about the need to be online. Here's some more statistics. 58% of purchases, and this is globally, were prompted by something that a shopper saw online. So either whenever we're searching Google for something, whether we're on social media, we are in this virtual space and it is driving us to shop. So the same way that you see ads pop up whenever you are shopping is the same way that we want to think whenever we are selling a product or service, that somebody out there is going to see your ad for your product and your service and want to connect with it and wants to indulge. Even whenever sales happen in the store, 46% of shoppers confirm inventory online before they visit a store. Who else does that? I do it all the time. I made the mistake and downloaded the Sephora app on my phone. Somebody please in the chat tell me to delete it, but I always check to see if there's a new product that I want, whether or not they have it in my local store or not, because if they do, I'm going to make a trip to Sephora. So just again, as we are consumers, you always want to think about your shopping experience and how that shopping experience looks for your business. So let's get into where your products can be found on Google. Did you know that the average online shopping journey has 140 touch points? That's a lot of touch points. Each of those touch points influence what people buy and who they buy it from. And what this is showing is touch points on Google where US-based customers interactions can happen. So we have the business profile, you have the Google shopping tab, you have ads, Google Lens, images, and search. And we'll talk about all of these today. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to talk about the business profile. What will happen is as we touch these 3 topics today, in between each, I'll pause and check the chat for any questions that you might have. Vicky is absolutely amazing, and she will be in the chat dialoguing with you all and answering those questions for you. But I will also pause in between just to make sure I address any questions or comments that you all have. So let's go ahead and jump in and talk about the Google business profile. So before we talk about it, I want to know if you have a Google business profile. So let me know in the chat, a 1 for yes and a 2 for no. And if you said yes, if you have a business profile, let me know how that has helped your business. Okay, we got a bunch of no's. We got to get you guys on business profiles. One of my favorite products that we actually do another workshop that focuses more into all the details on it. So when we host that, make sure you come. But Google business profile is amazing. Crystal said, hey, Crystal. Crystal said she's been getting a lot of calls from having her business on business profile. And we had a workshop back in July. So it's July to September, and Crystal just put her profile up and she's been getting calls. So you see the power of having your site present on there. So let's get into this. So we want to have a business profile because it helps your business to stand out on Google search and maps. I'm curious, drop an exclamation point in the chat if you have did a Google search today. It's 12 o'clock for most of us somewhere. If you did a Google search today, I mean, I've probably done about 4 already today. So the Google business profile is going to make sure that you are being seen in Google search and maps. It's available for businesses that make in-person contact with customers, either at a physical store or a specified service area. So if you do have a service-based business, you can still have a Google business profile. You just have to ensure that you set your service-based area. So on this slide, you will see the Google business profile for a retailer called the Spice House. We are going to use this example throughout this presentation to introduce how the Spice House are using these Google products to help sell their products online. So here we see that there is a featured product in the Essential Spices collection here. You can see the product photo, you can see their name, and you can see the price. And when you click on the product, it reveals even more details to you. This can be hosted within your business profile. And most of us are familiar with the business profile, even if we don't have one. When you look on the right side of this slide, you see that it shows the Spice House. It gives you an image of the business space, and it gives you details about it. You can see the Google reviews from as soon as you look at it. You can see their hours, whether they do in-store shopping or in-store pickup, phone number, everything. It is literally like your digital storefront for your business. So having a business profile is key. So now I'm going to go through step by step on how you would set a Google business profile up. So one of the first things that you want to do with any of our products is make sure you sign into your Google account that's connected to your business. Once you sign into it, then you want to go ahead and navigate to the Google My Business page. Your page is literally a space where you can manage all of your information. If you look at the slide here, you see that there's a home page, which gives you statistics and data about visits to your profile. You can make posts on your business profile, add info, check your reviews, share your review links and all, but we're going to focus on the product portion. Many people don't use this portion of the business profile, and this is that new part that we want to introduce to you today, is the ability for you to add your products, even add a button where people can order or buy online and have it connect to your website. So once you click on products, you're going to go ahead and add the products there. And now your product is going to appear on your Google business profile. And there's no charge to add these products. And people can click on the products and be led to your website and purchase your product or service that you're offering right from your business profile. It is a great way to make sure that you have exposure to your business and your product outside of your personal website. So I'm going to pause for a minute and I'm going to check the chat. I want to see if there's any questions. And if you have any questions right now, go ahead and ask them in the chat and let me know if you are going to set up a Google business profile for your business. So I see Vicky has answered someone's question about the business profile. Crystal's question about you don't have to have a storefront. Trina, unfortunately, we cannot share the actual slides, but we do have a handout at the end that will review everything. And I believe that Temple SBDC will be sending that out to you all as well. So yes, let me know if you are going to set up a Google business profile. I'll also check because I see someone ask, how do you set it up? I'll see if I can find a step-by-step setup and share that with my partners with Temple SBDC so they can get it out to you all so you're equipped to go ahead and do it. It's really easy to set up. And we also have other workshops that go in step-by-step on how to set up your profile.
Hey, I'm going to interrupt you real quick, Soleil, because we have questions in the actual Q&A part.
Okay.
And I've tried to answer it, but I don't know if I have that access. So Maureen Lindgren is asking, can we set up a business profile if we only sell online? And that's an absolute yes.
Yes.
Also, Small Biz Philly said, how much do you recommend someone invest in paid Google ads if they want worldwide sales of their product, which this is, I would say absolutely.
Yes.
Also, when you have your business profile, you may get ad credits. So keep that in mind. You can use those. And then we have someone that says, if you operate out of your home, should you list your personal address? And I know you're probably going to get to that, but yes, you would list your personal address. It gets hidden when you pick that you deliver goods and services.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback off of Vicky, because I agree with everything that she said, Small Biz Philly, as far as the amount that you invest, I would say that you want to think about your budget and what works for your business. And also I would highly recommend searching our digital coaches page or following me and get connected the next time we do an ads focus workshop. The ads focus workshop is going to get into budget and give you more high level information on what's needed for you to run Google ads. And as far as listing your personal address, you absolutely can, but you want to make sure you hide it and make sure you set your service area. Another option is, there's a lot of co-working spaces that will allow you to buy a business address, which they say is really, really important for you to, gain your business credibility. So that is another option, but you do not have to do that before setting up a business profile and just making sure your address is, making sure that your address is hidden. And I do see your question about how much. We can't give you an actual amount. I would probably highly recommend getting some knowledge in some of the free courses about Google Ads, and then maybe connecting with someone who's focused in marketing, even if it's just to have a consultation with them and let them assess your needs and your goals that you want to have with your ad. And then they can probably prescribe you an amount that will work with your budget and help you meet the goals and needs that you have for your ads. I hope that helps Small Business Philly. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move into Merchant Center. I see Bill said that he has a business profile, likes the interface, but now it's going away and being managed on search and maps. Yes, so there are some shifts that are changing with the business profile. Bill, I promise you, just hang in there and ride the wave of the change that's happening with it. I think everything will mellow out really soon. We've had plenty of conversations just about the change and how it's going to be better for the businesses. So if you do run into any issues with the change that's happening, you can always feel free to reach out to us and we'll get any information that we can. Crystal, I see you requesting the link to follow me and connect with me. Vicky will drop that either now, and we'll definitely drop it again at the end of the chat. So before we get into Google Merchant Center, tell me if you've ever used Google Merchant Center. Give me a 1 for yes, 2 for no. Most people don't even know about Google Merchant Center. I see Lorraine does. Wonderful. Yay, Lorraine. So glad. So I'm excited to introduce this to many of you. And Lorraine, I hope I'm able to share some additional information to help you better use your Google Merchant Center. So retailers use Merchant Center to make their store and or product information available to shoppers across all of Google. So again, it's an absolutely free product, which is amazing. And you don't have to advertise to add your products either. So again, this is another way for you to showcase your services and your products absolutely free, giving it more exposure online. I want you all to think about exposure online when you are thinking about this content today. And that's what these tools are about. So again, it's going to help you add to your store, pretty much create an online store and make product data available across Google. And we're going to get into how that information in your products can appear. So let's go ahead and get into that. One of the ways that your product can appear is in your Google search results. So Google's organic results are typically basic information. It's going to show maybe a title, a description, and a link, maybe a photo, and you can have the ability to show more. This extra information is called a rich snippet, and this snippet really helps your product to stand out. So in the slide you see now, there is Spice House's ground fenugreek seeds in the search results. So that's what somebody searched. And now you can see below it all of the different information that popped up about these seeds in Spice House. So you have information like your star rating. You can see that. You can see the price range of it, whether it's in stock or not. And the way that you can help Google Ads, like if you do get a Google ad, or just Google in general, kind of capture that information about your product, is making sure you have a Merchant Center account set up where you're adding those product and that information, but also talking to your website developer. And I want to make sure I put a pin in here for this, because all of this information is super important, because it all works together to ensure that your products and services and your business is found on Google. So you want to talk to your website developer about adding structured data markup to your website. So pretty much what this structured data is it's a labeling system that's added to your web pages that helps Google and other web platforms automatically understand your site. They pull information from your site and then they display it whenever it is searched. So you want to make sure that you touch base with your web developer about adding that structured markup data. That's going to make sure that you show up in the searches, which is one of the way Google Merchant Center works. Another way is the shopping tab. How many of you have used the shopping tab in Google? I use it all the time. Like if I'm looking for a certain color dress or outfit or shoes, then I will use the shopping tab so I can see all of the different options. So the same way that I use it as a consumer is the same way that I can use it for my business. You could sell in-store products online by listing them for free on the shopping tab. And in order to access that, you just go onto Google and click the shopping tab right in the top bar. Another way that people look for products is Google Images. So Google Images, they might see the product and labeled information about the product as well. If you can look at this slide, you can see that there is like a shopping tab and product there. That is showing that this picture is going to link you right to this website so you can make a purchase. I know I use Google Images on just a general basis to search for things, and this information just levels things up from a business perspective for us to think about how we can use Google Images to share our products and our information. So you can tell that, again, this image here is connected to a product because it has that, it's called a product annotation, which is that shopping tag and that product label there. And again, if you see that, that means you can click on it and it's going to take you right to the product. Here's another one that is not really well known about, and it is Google Lens. So Google Lens, what it does is it uses your phone's camera to search in a visual way. So it's basically pretty much like searching with an image instead of words. So this is an example of how the Spice House has used Google Lens to actually connect to their product. So as you can see, the first image of the phone is showing this powdered substance. And then when you run it through Google Lens on the right side, you see similar images, which are fennel seeds and fenugreek seeds, list of spices that begins to connect to this image that you're capturing in Google Lens. So again, that is another way that you can use it to connect to your product and your service. If someone is walking down the street and they see, a floral arrangement that is unique and they scan it, then if you have your Google Lens and your product set up on Merchant Center, it's very possible that maybe your floral arrangement is going to show up whenever they scan Google Lens because it's similar in appearance and connection. So the one thing about Google Lens is it is a product and a service that has to be used from your phone. So the other ones that I talked about, the shopping tab, images, all of those can be held right in your desktop space, but Lens, you actually have to download the app from Google Play or the App Store on iPhone in order to utilize it for your business. And the shopping ad. So I know that Small Biz Philly had talked about ads before. So, a lot of times we might run just basic ads about our business, but you can also run shopping ads that drive traffic to an actual product and getting someone to purchase your product through seeing your ad. And in this slideshow, you see how the ads show up, and it's number one, it's visual. You see that picture there, but you also see the link where you can learn more about it. You see the price and you see information. If you go a couple of pictures down, you see that the essentials, the kitchen essentials product has free shipping. So you can see the different types of elements that you can add to your ad to make sure that it stands out and that people can see it right at the top of a Google search. So the key thing that you want to remember is that in order to get any of this working for you, you have to make sure that you add the products to your Merchant Center, your Google Merchant Center account. And then once you add the products, then you can create a campaign in Google Ads to do a shopping ad for that. So we're going to do a quick walkthrough of how Merchant Center works. So this is an overview of what it looks like. You create the account, you upload your products, and then you show your products across Google. The biggest part of work from you is going to be in step 2 when you upload your products. That's where you're going to make sure you have the right pictures, the right descriptions about your products. So everything is going to be displayed across Google with as much information as possible. So let's go through this step by step. So first you want to create your Google Merchant Center account, which you can go to g.co/merchant center, which Vicki has dropped that in the chat for you. So you want to enter your business name as customers will recognize it. So however you want people to identify with your business, that's what you want to set your name up as. And as you can see in the slide, you're going to also set up your country and your time zone as well. So once you set all that up, you want to go ahead and select your customers to check out. So you want to, at this point, say, well, where do I want my customers to be able to check out when they see my product on Merchant Center in all of the different ways that it can show up? So you can either have them check out on your website, you can have them check out on Google, or you can even have them come to your local store. So those are the options. I believe that you can select as many as you wish, but you want to think that through as to what is going to work best for you and your business. So let's move on to the next step. Next step is providing additional information. So if you have Shopify or PayPal, which are key tools that help you sell and grow your business, and you want to use those tools in here, you can also opt into email. So you can sign up to get emails from Google Merchant Center. It's going to send you like best practices and tips. It's also going to maybe give you some invitations to test out products and features in the future. And then last but not least, you have to agree to the terms of service and then click create your account, and you are on your way to having your Merchant Center account set up. So this here is showing you kind of the makeup of what the Merchant Center account looks like. Like most Google setups, you have your platform, and then on the left side, you have that dashboard that kind of helps you navigate around the tools that you can use within the product. So here you have the overview, which I love. As you can see, it's giving you the insights about your center. It's telling you how many feeds you upload, which we're going to get into that a little bit. It's going to pretty much let you know how many products you have coming in, how your ads are working, the performance of your ads and your Merchant Center. So that's a great space to be in. You also have the area where you have your products, where you can upload all of your products, make changes to them, update them, so on and so forth, as well as your performance and the growth. Again, those are all data-driven tools that's going to let you know how this particular tool is working for your business. So one of the things that you're going to want to do is, if you select it on your website or at your store, Google Merchant Center is going to require you to verify your website before your products can appear on Google. So there's a couple ways that you can do that. You can use a Google Analytics or a tag manager, or you can add HTML file to your website. If that all sounds crazy to you, whoever developed your website, you want to reach out to them and tell them, I need to verify my business. I need to add some information to the back end of my site. Can you help me? What's the charge? So you don't feel overwhelmed by that. If you're able to navigate through it, then by all means go for it. But if not, whoever developed your website should be able to assist you with that. If you use Shopify for your e-commerce store, then your website will automatically be verified whenever you connect to your merchant center. Shopify and the merchant center have a great way of syncing together. So if you have a Shopify site, that'll be a plus for you. So let's go to step 2. Step 2 is you adding your products. And I told you, this is the place where you put in some work. This is the place where I would say I recommend having a planning session before you sit down and just go enter products in, because there's so much that you're going to want to think about to make sure that you cover about your product and your services before you just go ahead and enter them in. So once you choose the product tab, it's going to let you to add individual products. There's a way that you can add multiple products or a combination of both, and we're going to go over those. So in order to add an individual product, you're going to enter the information about the product in the merchant center. Some fields might be like title, link, price are required. And again, if you have a website already, a lot of this product information is probably already housed on your website, so you can pull it down from there. Another key thing to point out is just like how if you're selling on your website, it will ask you about variants of your product. For instance, if you have an apparel line and you sell t-shirts and it comes in multiple colors, then just like your website will allow you to display the multiple colors, so will Google Merchant Center. But again, you got to have that information ready to set it up. So the products that are added individually have to be edited individually. And you'll understand a little more as I talk about adding multiple products in just a moment, but I want you to remember that. You can use a combination of individual product uploads and product feeds. Product feeds make it easier to add multiple products to Merchant Center, and we're going to take a look at product feeds in a moment. So this is showing you multiple products, and a product feed is pretty much a file that contains all the information about the products that you want to show on Google. What'll happen is it will include like attributes about your product, and then what you want to do is to create that feed in Merchant Center, and you'll enter basic information like you see on the screen: language, where you want it to be shown at on local surfaces. And again, if you are a local based business and you want people to primarily come into your store, or if it's only available to your direct region, then you want to only have it on local surfaces. I mean, just because both options are available, it doesn't mean that's the best bet, because what you want to do is drive people that are actually going to be able to indulge and connect with your product. So you want to set that up, and then you want to name your feed. Now, I do want to let you know that your feed name is only available to you. For instance, if you have different collections in your business, then you might name the feed based off of the different collection. So that's information that's only seen by you, but it's important as you organize how you are displaying and showing your information to the public. So after you name your feed, then you want to go ahead and add products to your feed. If you're just getting started, one of the easiest ways is using Google Sheets. And there's actually a template that is provided. So as you're setting up your Merchant Center, you'll see that you can choose the option to use Google Sheets, and they're going to give you a template, which we're going to look at in just a moment. So if you use Google Sheets, then you'll have two options. You can use a template, or you can use another spreadsheet that you may already have. If you choose that option, then you have to make sure that the layout of your spreadsheet has everything that's needed in there in order for Google Merchant Center to read it. So this is an idea of what a template might look like. You see that it has an ID for the product, title, description, a link, a condition, a price. And again, y'all, this is that part where I said we got to put a little bit of kind of elbow work in to make sure that all of our information is in here properly. It sounds a bit technical, but if you set aside the time to say, I'm going to make sure that I add all my products and the information so my products and services can be found on Google. Set yourself a couple hours and get it done. You guys can do it. The last thing is then putting your products, now they're eligible to appear on Google. So the shopping tab, it may show up in a shopping tab, shopping ads, Google images, lens, and search. All of those different platforms that we talked about, now that you set up your Merchant Center account, all the products that you listed in there could now potentially be seen on all of these different ways. So again, we are talking about how to bring more exposure to your business and your products beyond just what we're used to of social media and our website. Google has a lot of platforms and ways for us to do that. And then last but not least, we have Shopify, which we are going to get into on our last leg of our presentation. But I am going to pause for a moment. I think we have a couple of questions in the Q&A and in the chat, and I want to be able to answer those for you. And I'm going to take a drink of water so I don't start choking during my last part of the presentation. All right, I don't see many questions. What is the name of the website for Google Merchant Center? I think hold on, let me see if I can get that for you. I think it's g.co/merchant center. Is that it, Vicki? I can't pull up I think that's it. But we'll add everything at the end. You'll get that as well. So I'm curious to know.
Real quick, I actually thought that they were wanting to know how to make a website, which you can using Google Sites. So I dropped that in there just in case anybody wants to know. You can make a website within your Drive using Google Sites.
Yes, you can. And again, any Google products, they sing harmoniously together. So if you have Google Sites and your merchant account and your ads, like all of that should integrate pretty well. Question for you guys. If this isn't something that you have used before, will you consider utilizing it? Type a 1 for yes and a 2 for no. Let me know in the chat if you will consider using Merchant Center. I see the ones. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. Merchant Center is one of my favorite ones to present during this because a lot of people don't know about it. And then there's all of those different products and services that we offer, like lens and images and the shopping tab, that give us so much more exposure for us to really elevate our business. So let's move into the last portion, and then we'll do a recap, and then we'll open up for question and answer. So I want to know in the chat, do you have a Shopify website? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I want one, or maybe I'm looking to switch to Shopify. All right, so we got a bunch of people that are no's and several people who want to switch and a couple of Shopify users. So we're going to get into Shopify and talk about how Shopify is a really great way for you to sell online. And it works very, very well with the Merchant Center and other Google products. So we're going to do a quick introduction to Shopify, go over how you would get started. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how to connect your Shopify account to Google. Okay. So this is one, and it's not one, it is the mission of Shopify to make commerce better for everyone. And the reason why I love this mission is because sometimes when we build our websites, we think about our websites in the context of the users, our customers that will be visiting our website to get the information we need, which is definitely top tier. But you also have yourself as the business owner on the other end of the people who are engaging in that website. And Shopify has made it its mission to make commerce better for everyone. So not just the shopper, but also the business owner, making it easy for you all to navigate, to market your products and your business in a creative way. So I love that. Here's some stats about Shopify. Shopify was founded in Canada 15 years ago and is now being used in 175 countries. The platform is used by 1 million merchants who collectively have generated over 155 billion in sales on Shopify alone. So if this slide doesn't tell you anything, it tells you that Shopify has some power packed with it in the services that it offers. So this slide just really connects to something I said earlier just about the pandemic and how it really moved us to move and think differently. And I'm curious, like, what are some ways that you all had to pivot your business during the pandemic? Was getting a website one of those ways for you? Let me know in the chat. It's definitely always an interesting topic, but the reality of it is a lot of offline only retailers have moved to being online. So let's talk about Shopify and how you would get started setting up your website on Shopify, selling your products and personalizing it to make it look like your brand. So this is an example, as you can see on the screen, of Spice House. Very clean site. You got the color palette, which looks great. You have amazing pictures, which if you're selling food, spices, and literally anything you're selling, if you have great pictures, you're going to go a long way. But as you can see, this is a site that they built on Shopify. So if you want to create a Shopify account, one of the very first things that you want to do is enter your email address and start a free trial. Yes, Shopify does allow you to have a free trial of the website. So what'll happen is once you sign up for your free trial, you'll get access to choosing themes. They have some free themes that you can use. They also have some things that are paid, but you can really get in there and see if this platform is good for you. I highly recommend that if you start a free trial, you are already being proactive and thinking about the fact that, hey, I want to make sure that I invest X amount of hours over the next week of learning to see if this space is the best for me so I can put my products and my business on this platform. So it's going to ask you some questions about yourself. It's going to ask you if you're already selling. It's going to ask you your revenue, what industry you're in. And if you are like myself, as a website developer and designer, sometimes I'm setting up a store for my client. So it's going to ask you whether you're setting up the store for someone else or for yourself. So you want to answer all those questions. And again, this workshop is giving you some lead information on details that you'll need in order to get set up so you can come in equipped and ready. Once you create your account, similar to how we talked about that platform setup, where on the left side, you have that kind of dashboard where you can navigate around your site. This is what Shopify's looks like. So you want to think of it as like your control center to your website. This is where you can look at your orders, where you can add, change, and edit your products, where you can see a list of all your customers, including their information you pulled down for them. On the online store is where you would edit and customize your site and point of sale and things of that nature. So this is like where everything happens at. So let's jump to adding products, because that's what this workshop is about. You selling the products and services that you offer so you can get more visibility online. So when we talk about products, again, we're not just talking about physical products. We're also talking about digital goods that you may sell. I tell my clients all the time that if you are an expert in your trade, then you can sell consultations on helping other people that want to grow in that area. It could be a digital product on how to start your own consulting business or how to start your own floral business, whatever it is. That is something that you can sell on Shopify, physical or digital. You also can set up those variants. We talked about that before, the different colors, the different sizes. that you might have within a product. You also can track your inventory in there. You can create collections. We talked about that already. If you have certain collections within your product offerings, and then it can be imported from different places that you might already have information at. So next thing you want to do is add a product. So this is showing you an example of what it looks like to add a product on Shopify. You go in and click new product, and then you put a title in for it. Again, this is some of those areas that you want to prepare for. You want to have a nice description of your product available. You can upload photos of your product. And on the right side of the screen, you can choose where that product's available, what type of product it is, if there's a certain vendor connected to it, and if you wish to add it to a collection, and even add tags for it. So we covered a lot about Shopify, how to set up the account, how to add products. Let me know if you have any questions about Shopify. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how to connect Shopify with Google. So what you want to do is, in the sales channel area of your dashboard, you want to go ahead and add a sales channel and add Google as that sales channel. So once you go ahead and add Google as a sales channel, it's going to sync in real time with your Shopify account. What's going to happen is when you make when you make changes in your products in either Google or Shopify, it will sync across both platforms, which is so cool. Meaning you don't have to log into Google and Shopify and make changes in both places. Because they're connected, it's going to sync. So in order to set up your account, you're going to need to sign into your Google business account, and then you're going to put in your account email. So again, you want to make sure that you have your right Google account. And then in order to use Shopify's Google channel, your Shopify store has to meet a few requirements with the Google Merchant Center. So here are the requirements. It has to be set up online and published. That means that if you're just working in draft status and your website isn't available to the public yet, then it's not going to allow you to sync. You have to have payment and contact information into your accounts in order for them to sync. You have to make sure you have a refund policy in terms of service, and then the countries and the currencies that you'll be selling it have to be set. So this is very important information, again, for you to prepare to make sure that your sync can happen properly. So once you met all the requirements, then you sync your product feed. As you can see, there's a get started tab. It's going to walk you through step by step on how to connect your merchant account to your Google channel on Shopify. So this step is important in order to make sure that the Spice House shop and the product information in Google is surfaced to shoppers that are across Google. So this channel is going to import all of your existing data from Shopify and put it right into the Merchant Center. So y'all remember when we talked about Merchant Center and the spreadsheet and things like that, adding your product feeds. But if you have a Shopify account, if you set everything up, meet your requirements, it's automatically going to add all your products over to Google Merchant Center, which is a great tool. So you can set up your target market and then your feed for your shipping settings once you set up your account as well. And then last but not least, you can connect your Google Ads account to get started with smart shopping campaigns. And then the ads account, what they are, it's paid ads that help your product appear in front of shoppers, not just on Google, but on all of our networks. So YouTube, Gmail, Google search, and beyond. So ads are really powerful as well. And we recommend small businesses to set up a smart shopping campaign. That's one where you're in control of your budget and in control of your ad and making changes to it. So we love this quote, a part of this workshop. It says, you don't have to be good to start. You just have to start to be good. You don't have to be good to start. You just have to start to be good. So we cover a lot of information today. And I want you to keep this quote in mind that you just have to start to be good. So whatever it is that we covered today that really stood out to you, just start it and tell me in the chat, what is it that you're going to start so you can be good at it? You don't have to start Shopify, Merchant Center, and a profile all at once, but what is going to help to elevate your business the most? And I want you to remember this quote. You just have to start to be good. So let us know in the chat, what are you going to start today? Or this week? I won't put pressure on you for today or just this week. So I'm going to wrap up with some resources for you all. Vicky's going to drop a link in the chat that's going to take you to the handout. And again, we are available if you have questions. You can email me. I promise I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You're not alone in this. So let's talk about some resources, again, that can help you elevate this selling online experience. So this is Grow My Store. So Grow My Store is another free Google tool that's designed for retailers who sell online, in store, or both. So it gives you a report that evaluates your product information, your store details, all types of things, how fast your site loads, if it's mobile friendly, just a personalized report of your online presence. This, I highly recommend entering your website at Grow My Store to just get an idea of how things are functioning for you. Another tool is the Local Opportunity Finder. So this helps small business owners improve their presence on Google search and maps by analyzing their business profile. So once you have your business profile set up, use this Local Opportunity Finder to see how your business is squaring up. And then lastly, Grow On Air. You can access workshops just like the one we're in today at your speed, at your pace, whenever you need to help you further grow your business. So that is all I have today. And I know I left 5 minutes for questions, and I can take a little bit more time if we need it. But I really want to thank you all for spending this time with me today. I want to thank Vicky for helping me assist today and serve you all. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the chat. And if you would complete this survey for Google, I'd really appreciate it. We love to get feedback and hear how our program is helping you. So I am going to stop sharing my screen. And I am going to take a look at the chat in the question and answer.
And while everyone is submitting your questions, I am posting a link to a 4-question survey about today's webinar. We value your feedback, and we use it to improve our events in the future. This is also required by our funders, the Small Business Administration, so we can continue offering no-cost webinars. And I will also be posting the Temple SBDC resources link, so you can find upcoming webinars, funding opportunities, and other resources. And again, all materials will be sent over to attendees within 2 to 3 business days in a follow-up email.
Thank you, Taya. So I'm going to answer some of the questions. Mark, you have a really good question. Is there a way to build a website and only promote and sell products in certain areas? It won't show up at all in other areas. So when it comes to like an actual website, that's a really great question. I am not sure if there are limitations that you can put on accessing your website in just certain areas. Now, I believe you will be able to put restrictions on people who could purchase on certain areas, but I do want to introduce you to the business profile. And I believe even Merchant Center, we may have covered that as well. When you set up your business profile, you have to set up a service area. So you can set up your service area to just be that area that you want to sell in. I don't know if that would stop people from seeing it if they search your business, but it would at least give them that information for them to know that you only serve this particular area. I believe also in Merchant Center, there was an option where you can make your feed visible to like local areas or a more international area. So I would definitely take time and look into the features that you're using and to see what they're offering. Susan says she sells bird houses and bird feeders from different companies. I don't think you need permission because once you add your product on the right side of your screen, you'll see a vendors area and you can add what vendor that product is through. So it's almost like you're giving them that credit and you're just not saying that, you know, your overall business sells this particular product, but they know who it's from. So I hope that helps. Vicky, do you have any questions that I need to address? I'm searching the chat, but you might be.
There was, let's see here. I think I got them all.
You're the best.
I think the one that I had not answered was from Mark. That one about different areas.
Yeah. And Mark, you can always follow up with me if you look into it and if you look into it and find out some information, feel free to email me and update me and let me know how I could further help you explore that. Lori asked about syncing Shopify to Merchant Center. And that's definitely something like once you like meet all the requirements in Shopify and then connect the accounts, they'll automatically sync your products there. So that's a really cool feature. It's like they work together.
The one thing that I could say about to Mark is that you can do Google Ads and target the areas of where you want the product to show up. And you can easily do that from the business profile, right? Because the Google Ads can be integrated within the Google profile. So if you listed the products on the business profile, you could also, or you could just use the ad to target the web page where you want your product to be featured.
I'm trying to put those links in there for you again.
Oh, let me know if I need to do that.
They did come across strange, but you know that happens to us all the time.
And yeah, for some reason in Zoom, it puts it all together, and I just grabbed them one by one.
But here's put them in separate view. Yes, and then also I think we're pretty much at time. I do have a couple more workshops at the end of this month. If you all would love to join me, I can go ahead and drop my link in the chat. I believe next week we're focusing on build your professional brand. One of my favorite workshops because that's what I do, help people with branding. And it is next Wednesday at 6 o'clock, I believe. So I invite you all to sign up for it and meet me there. And we can continue this learning. Temple SBDC, thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to next month's workshops that we have scheduled with you all because I will be in this space with Temple SBDC for the rest of the year we have planned right now. So I'm looking forward to continuing to help you all grow your business. Thank you so much for having me.
Soleil for presenting today, and thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Vicky, for attending us as well. All right, thank you everyone and have a great day.